Hello to all. You will see a video about Energizer on one of its advertising campaigns. This video was co-directed by Manon, Erwan, and Pierre. Located in Town and Country, Missouri, Energizer employs approximately 7,500 people and has revenues of $1.7 billion. The company also began to expand into personal care sector by purchasing the Shake personal care and razor brand and the well-known Wilkinson Sword Shaver brand from Pfizer. The company is therefore placed in the electrical power and general consumable tool market, trying to diversify more and more over time. In terms of historical context, in 1898, the first batteries were available for sale in the United States, including dry cell batteries that feed the new flashlights. These batteries were manufactured by the Carbon Company National, which later became the Ever-Ready Battery Company that now produces Energizer batteries. So the marketing company has been around for over a century and has had to adapt over time. The United States has a past that is closely linked to the development of electricity through its innovations that have to modernize the country and the world through various objects such as the phone, the bridge, or the vacuum cleaner. As a result, although the United States is mainly supplied by fossil fuels, the country is now in the top 3 in terms of electricity production and consumption in the world. The battery presented in the advertisement was at the time the last and the most powerful energizing battery of the brand.
This advertising campaign took place in 2018. All the posters of this campaign are presented in page size. They show the interior of a very plain house with minimalist decoration and very white walls to better highlight the Energizer object. We always see an electrical socket in evidence on a white wall, with a long black wire that connects to an everyday object that normally requires batteries. In this case, we can see a basic clock connected to a socket. The picture is rather unlikely and disturbing for the consumer, as he is usually accustomed to seeing automatic or battery-operated clocks. This real artistic stroke of genius reminds the target audience is the importance of battery in their lives, how useful it is to be well equipped with batteries, and here in this case Energizer batteries, which are as powerful as electricity. Advertising as a motivational discourse. The objective is to attract the attention of the receiver with the aim of influencing his or her behavior. The advertising message is short, so it is necessary to quickly create an interaction with the target. It means the catchphrase and to repeat the keyword so that they are better memorized. Advertising has little time to convince, so it is necessary to condense everything that needs to be said. Keep it simple, short, and punchy. This is what happened in advertisement for Energizer. The slogan say, as powerful as electricity, with suspension dots, as if you don't need to finish the sentence to understand it. The short phrase is enough on its own. In the picture, you can see everyday objects that usually run on batteries, plugged into electrical sockets. In marketing, this process is called disruption. It is often used and is known to have a real impact on the target audience. The objective of disruption is to challenge habits, convention, and stereotypes in order to offer new vision to the advertiser, finding the counterpart to better differentiate oneself and develop the brand's image capital. But it can, however, be noticed that Energizer, which already has a big place on the market, have omitted to put its mascot, the pink rabbit, on the advertising campaign. You can only see a pile at the bottom left.
This campaign is quite neutral because the brand is universal, but we can still find an American style in the rather minimalist decoration that reminds us of modern interiors. There are no luxurious objects or furniture or personal items to avoid identifying with one social class more than the other. The chosen clock is also a sort of emblem of American schools or offices. It is a very basic clock, also white, that everyone, rich, poor, younger, older, has already crossed in their lives. On the other hand, the brand seeks to compete directly with classic electricity, and as mentioned above, the United States is at the top of the rankings both in terms of consumption and production. A small reference can be seen in the picture of the campaign with the flashlights because historically at the beginning of the 20th century in the United States, the dry cell battery was commercialized by the company to be perfectly adapted to new flashlights, which were supposed to be transportable, as opposed to the liquid batteries of this time, which were not.
Energizer's message is clear because of its minimalist structure and the battery-needed items that the ads show. It reaches a wide and varied audience. Indeed, everyone uses a clock, a remote control, or a flashlight. The strong point of this advertisement campaign is that in front of the poster, the viewer wonders why a wire is connected to a portable object. And then he begins the process of questioning and then sees the Energizer logo at the bottom left and immediately understands the will of the advertisers. The modern and uncluttered design reinforces the universal aspect and battery use, which is necessary in many everyday objects. The advertisement touches everyone because of its impersonal side. It's a type of decoration that can be seen everywhere, which can be an advantage too in a world that is becoming more and more uniform and globalized. On the other hand, one might think that this campaign needs to be seen over a long period of time to understand its meaning. This is not the kind of advertising that can be displayed in places where traffic is heavy and where the consumer does not have time to look at it for a long time. The campaign is rather dull overall. It lacks color. There is no celebrity to remind the brand. I think it's because they wanted to touch everyone too much that the ad became a little bit insipid. As far as design is concerned, one can also criticize the uniformity of the campaign, showing basic and monotonous environments. But to go deeply in the analysis, we can also use a communication method called AIDA. The AIDA method is a method that is used in communication to judge the impact of an advertising poster. In order for an advertisement to be effective, it must fulfill the 4 AIDA pillars. The first one is the attention, to capture the consumer's attention, inform him about the product by presenting its advantages. The second one is the interest, involving and interesting the consumer so that he can recognize himself in the discourse. The third one is the desire, to make the consumer want. And the last one is to push the consumer to buy, and it's called action. In this advertisement, we find only the first point, the attention. The unconventional image catches the consumer's attention because of its strangeness. We can also a little bit mention the interest because everyone needs batteries, but we don't find any desire or action inside. To conclude, here for this campaign, we can see that it is partly a failure because by wanting to reach everyone and by making the campaign too neutral and almost bland, the poster becomes unattractive. Here the poster just appeals to the consumer with this black card. It's a way of showing the importance of their projects in their lives. But it's not an advertisement that could be described as attractive. It's just unusual. In conclusion, we can see that Energizer proves once again that its name is no longer to be had.